January 28th, 2022. You were on your morning commute in Pittsburgh. The Fern Hollow Bridge gave out. 6 vehicles fell 100 feet into Frick Park. No one died. 9 people were injured. It made the news everywhere. But you know what hits close to home? Over 2,800 bridges in Pennsylvania are in poor condition. That's more than any other state in America. 10 million trips cross those bridges each day. Why does this keep happening in our state? The answer isn't just old concrete, it's something deeper. Every driver in Pennsylvania has already noticed it. Maybe you never put it together until now. Fern Hollow Bridge collapsed at 6:37 on January 8th, 2022. Commuters heading east on Forbes Avenue felt the road fall out from under them. A 447-foot bridge dropped 100 feet into Frick Park Ravine. 6 vehicles, including a city bus, crashed down with the bridge. 9 people were hurt in the chaos. Miraculously, no one died. The bridge was about 50 years old. It had carried traffic over the ravine since the early 1970s. Inspectors marked it as poor condition for over a decade. That rating meant the bridge needed repairs, not collapse. Problems kept piling up at Fern Hollow. Reports from 2011 flagged corrosion. Each year, inspectors wrote the same warnings. Nothing changed. The National Transportation Safety Board spent 2 years reviewing records, photos, and inspection logs. They found water pooling around the steel legs. Water ate away at the metal. Clogged drains let water sit on the legs. Leaves and debris blocked the drains. Rust hollowed out the steel over time. The steel buckled under the morning rush weight. President Biden planned to visit Pittsburgh that morning to discuss roads and bridges. Instead, the city woke to a broken bridge and many questions. Pennsylvania has more bridges than almost any other state. There are 23,314 bridges. That is the 9th largest count in the country. 2,813 of them are in poor condition. That is 12% of all bridges. Only Iowa has more bridges in poor condition. Every day, more than 10 million vehicles cross these bridges. For most drivers, it is just part of the routine. But the trips add up to millions each day. Each trip goes over a bridge that needs repair. The average age of a bridge in poor condition is 84 years. That is almost twice the national average age. All Pennsylvania bridges average 55 years old. Most were designed to last about 50 years. So many are past their intended lifespan. A poor rating does not mean a bridge will fall. It means something needs repair. It could be the deck, the supports, or both. PennDOT inspects every bridge on a regular schedule. If an inspection finds a bridge unsafe, it is closed. Drivers never have to guess about safety. A PennDOT spokesperson says we have many old bridges. We keep a close eye on each one. If a bridge is open, it is safe to drive on. The numbers are big, but the process is cautious. The size of the problem shows this is a statewide challenge. Pennsylvania's hills and valleys give drivers few choices. 5 big rivers cut deep across the state. The Susquehanna, Delaware, Allegheny, Monongahela, and Ohio flow through it. Hundreds of creeks carve ravines, split towns, and force roads over water. That is why Pennsylvania has so many bridges. In Pittsburgh, you find 446 bridges inside city limits. That is more than the city of Venice. Allegheny County alone has nearly 2,000 bridges. The Public Works Director says you cross a bridge every few blocks. In the 19th century, Pennsylvania built over 1,500 covered bridges. Today, 227 of those still stand, the most in the nation. Each bridge adds another structure that needs upkeep. Each also gives weather another spot to work on. Geography shaped the land and also shaped the problem. Every winter, salt trucks roll out before sunrise. The salt they spread keeps roads safe, but it comes with a cost. Salt doesn't just melt ice, it seeps into cracks of concrete bridges, it settles on steel beams. The Federal Highway Administration says salt is the biggest cause of bridge wear. Here's why winter damage adds up. Once salt gets in, it starts a chain reaction. Steel inside concrete begins to rust. Rust expands and breaks concrete from within. Water gets in, freezes, and expands. Pennsylvania winters bring dozens of freeze-thaw cycles each year. Water seeps into a crack, freezes overnight, and widens the crack. The next day, it thaws and repeats. Over time, this cycle wears a bridge built for 50 years down to 40. The damage isn't always visible from outside. Inside steel and concrete change each season. Inspection records on Fern Hollow go back to 2005. Year after year, inspectors wrote the same problems. Rust ate the steel legs, holes widened, drains clogged with debris. In 2009, a plan called for rust-proof coatings and new bracing. Only a few cables were added. The real fixes never happened. By 2011, the bridge was labeled poor. No repairs came for the legs. Damage kept growing. In 2014, the city lowered the weight limit. Corroded steel stayed untouched. By 2021, a hole in a leg grew to a foot across. The city inspector tried to sound the alarm. The number one problem was clogged scuppers and downspouts. I tried to preach that the whole time. No one set up a plan to clean the drains. No one patched the steel. For 16 years, warnings stacked up and nothing changed. The damage was not hidden. It was written down, photographed, and left to get worse. PennDOT chief engineer points to the numbers. Since 2008, crews have repaired or replaced thousands of bridges across the state. Act 89 passed in 2013. It brought in $2.3 billion each year for roads and bridges. That steady funding changed the pace. In just over a decade, the number of poor bridges dropped by 42%. 2023 stands out. Pennsylvania repaired more bridges that year than any other state. 90 fewer bridges are rated poor now than a year before. Federal dollars are helping too. The latest bridge funding law is sending $1.4 billion to Pennsylvania. The money will fund bridge work. Each project means fewer drivers crossing a bridge in poor condition. The progress is steady, and the momentum is real. Even with new funding, the gap remains hard to ignore. PennDOT says Pennsylvania needs $18 billion to fix every bridge that needs work. State and federal money does not cover the whole cost. Construction costs keep rising. Repairs take years to plan and finish. The chief engineer at PennDOT says we are making progress. He adds, the need is still huge. Every dollar counts, but it is not enough to clear the backlog. So the work continues, one bridge at a time. The state moves in the right direction. The challenge is bigger than any single year's budget. Every day, over 10 million drivers cross bridges that outlasted their design by decades. Real progress is happening, but the need never goes away. Roads and bridges shape daily life here. Every repair or delay writes the story of how Pennsylvania connects its people. Thanks for watching.